Shaq has been saying some crazy things about the Cleveland Cavaliers. A tough stretch for Shaquille O'Neal, and now the Cavs have made his list of goofy things he's been saying. We're going to break that down. We're going to also break down what's been happening with Shaq as an analyst, as he's in a tough stretch right now, and people are noticing. It's not a one-off, and it's over and over again. Things are getting crazier and crazier for him. A really, really tough stretch for Shaquille O'Neal. Personal favorite of mine, both on TV and on the court, and I know a lot of people feel the same way, so a really weird time. We're going to watch that clip. We're going to talk more about the Cavaliers, who win again, by the way. I'll go back. It's embarrassing for other teams. With Mitchell sitting out, 133 points. You had the lead at one point. I mean, it is ridiculous. But before we jump into it, I want to encourage you again to subscribe to this channel, Cavs Digest with you, giving you all the information you need to know with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We had a great last video breaking down a podcast clip which compared Donovan Mitchell to Anthony Edwards. Got some opinions there from people. Seem like they're pretty positive. They'd rather have Donovan Mitchell instead of a guy a lot of people see as the future of the NBA or the face of the NBA, which he says he doesn't want to be. Fine there. And we're keeping up to date with the Cavaliers, who, and you'll see Shaq do it, there is no up and down. They're shooting, and I had a buddy say to me yesterday, I'm worried they're getting hot at the wrong time. I said, we said that 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a month ago. We said, man, I think they're getting hot at the right time, and they just lost a game or two and jumped back on. 16 straight, franchise record, playoff sealed up, division sealed up. I mean, things have racked up for the Cavaliers. So stay up to date. Subscribe today. Break down the video. So we're going to leave some comments. Has anything changed for you after this when we talk about Shaquille O'Neal? So, as I said before, I think the Cavaliers are having the dream season right now. They're bringing so much positivity to the Cleveland sports scene. They've proved so much to people, and they've just had a great season. And that's why it stinks to see, whether it be podcasters, fans, studio people, just for no reason hate on them, right? I've seen other fan bases just for no reason hate on them. It's unnecessary. This is a fun team. It's a fun story, and they've done some really great stuff this season. So it's tough to see Shaq not only say what he said, which we'll get to the video in just a second, but the night before, the night after, I don't know when the podcast was recorded compared to his studio time, then in the next night say the Cavs are the team to beat in the East. They're the ones to watch for. So let's get to the video, and then we'll get back to it.
I think the Bucks could be a sleeper.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought about it because I went back and looked. In the last two postseasons, we haven't seen a healthy Giannis in 3 years. The last 2 years, he's played 18% of playoff games because he keeps getting hurt against the Heat. If they're healthy and they take on a Cleveland team that I think we're all kind of skeptical about, Giannis is the ultimate wild card. Giannis could throw a wrench in everybody's plan.
I'm more scared of teams that do this. Teams that do this, once you chip them off at the top, do they have enough to come back? Like Cleveland, OKC. Like once you break them, do they have enough to come back? Milwaukee's been playing like this, up and down, up and down. If they catch the right stride at the right time, they can be dangerous.
They get Kuzma in the mix. They start figuring that out.
I'm really scared for Cleveland because if you shut Donovan down, who's going to be the other guy? OKC also. Like if you find a way to slow them down, then they can be beat.
Okay, so a lot to digest here in really what was 30-ish seconds for Shaq and Adam Lefko. I want to start with this little thing that he did, the razor, where you want teams to go like this throughout the season. The Warriors haven't done that when they were having their runs. The Lakers weren't doing that when they were having their runs. Shaq. Enough with this. There's a timeline you have to be a part of. I've seen this many times in the NBA. The Cavaliers aren't going to win this season because they don't have enough playoff experience. What's enough playoff experience? 2 straight years of battling different types of teams, adding more and more to your roster, gaining more and more experience. That's not enough. Beating, going at it against the Knicks, losing, beating the Magic, moving on, going at it with the Celtics. That's not enough experience. Now okay, so do Cavs have to get beat again this year and then they have enough experience? I just think it happens when it happens. Luck has to fall your way. You look at the Celtics championship. I mean, they needed contender after contender after contender to fall off before they could finally get into it with a not great Mavericks team in the NBA Finals. That's what broke for them. The Cavs need more experience. They have to have more experience. I think that's crap. I'm tired of that narrative. I've heard that over and over and over again, not just from Shaq, but from different TV analysts, again, podcasters. You have to have so much experience in the playoffs. If that's true, why don't teams with the most experience just win over and over again? Things have to fall your way. Things have to break your way. If that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So we'll start there. Second comment made by Shaq that was just ignorant. If you shut Donovan Mitchell down, what then? I'll tell you what then. Darius Garland, the other All-Star. Evan Mobley, the other All-Star. Ty Jerome, who's had a heat check season off the bench. Max Strus, never mind. I'm wrong on that. Any of the other guys, DeAndre Hunter, who's up for Sixth Man of the Year. Or the Coach of the Year, scheming something else up to happen. And that's if Donovan Mitchell doesn't look good, which he usually does not fail to produce in the playoffs. That was an ignorant thing to say. Second, just roping back. Why are we looking out for the Bucks? The Bucks might have one of the most forgettable championships and have been one of the biggest disappointments in years after, as they've completely reshaped their roster. An iconically choker of a coach is in charge. You just cited Kyle Kuzma as a reason things could get a little crazy. It's been clear from the get-go that, Dame still has it a little bit, but not enough. It's a historically bad defensive team. The Cavs have handled them all season. Most of all, as I just kind of think about this from Shaq, and we see comments like this, and again, the night, I think after, I don't know when the podcast was recorded, Shaq cited again that the Cavs are the team to beat in the East. He's having a tough run right now. He said he basically didn't watch the Pistons, said they were below 500, named the wrong coach for them. They're over 500. They've been over 500. You should know who J.B. Bickerstaff is. He's probably number 2 for Coach of the Year. And it is your job to watch basketball. Shaq's a busy guy, okay? I understand that. Guy all over town. If you can't keep up on the NBA, hire somebody to help you do it. That's what I would do. Hire a person like myself or anybody that follows this channel or other NBA stuff to come in before the show and tell you, this is what people are talking about online. This is the hottest team. This is the hottest player. You should talk about this. The other guys won't mention this, so on and so forth. To just go up there and say, I don't watch the Pistons, I'm not interested, that's haterade. Pure haterade. You're spewing haterade. You're drinking it. You're having enough of it. And then to go one night say you're worried for Cleveland and the next night say teams need to watch out. They're the contender in the East. I'm sorry, man. It's flip-floppy. It's lazy. For Shaq, I understand. Shaq's an entertainer. Big name, larger-than-life personality, great dude. But sometimes the entertaining goes too far and you're not necessarily an analyst anymore. Really tough stretch for the big man. I'm personally a huge fan. I want to know, has this changed your feeling on Shaq? Not only as a Cavs fan, but as a fan of basketball and inside the NBA and consuming things? Is something like this just a little lazy for you too? That's my theory on it. It's lazy. If you don't want to watch basketball, fine. Hire somebody to come in, take your notes, work. I don't care if the guy waits an hour before the game. And look, if it's not a wake-up call for him to have Candace Parker calling him out on air, I don't know what is. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about Shaq, if your view has changed. Cavaliers, hype them up, baby. They're winning again and again. Clinch the division, clinch playoff spots. 16 in a row. They're really cruising, and we'll talk more about it here on Cavs Digest.